$37.4 million. That's not pocket change, folks. That is the staggering average cost multinational companies are paying for tax reassessments related to transfer pricing disputes. And honestly, that number doesn't even include the additional millions spent on penalties and expensive legal fees.
So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the absolute most dangerous compliance risk for global companies today? Well, if you guessed transfer pricing, you hit the nail on the head. It is no longer just this sleepy back-office accounting task. It has become a high-stakes battlefield that can literally wipe out a company's entire profit margin in a single audit.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the future of transfer pricing, specifically looking at how to navigate AI and the digital economy. I am super excited to guide you through this incredible transformation. We're going to unpack exactly how the digital economy and the artificial intelligence arms race are completely upending global tax rules, and ultimately, what all of this means for the future.
Okay, let's dive right in. Our roadmap today is gonna cover the multi-billion-dollar problem, valuing the digital economy, the 3 pillars of transfer pricing, AI's double-edged sword, navigating the AI arms race, and finally, the future transfer pricing professional.
Let's kick things off with part 1, the multi-billion-dollar problem.
Transfer pricing essentially dictates where billions of dollars in global profits get taxed. It governs how subsidiaries of the exact same multinational enterprise charge each other for goods, services, and intellectual property. The financial stakes here are absolutely massive. I mean, just look at these recent IRS audit claims. Microsoft is facing a mind-blowing $28.9 billion claim over how it licensed intangibles to subsidiaries in places like Puerto Rico and Dublin. Meanwhile, Coca-Cola is dealing with a $2.7 billion underpayment claim. And get this, that could balloon to $6 billion once you factor in the interest. Tax authorities are becoming incredibly aggressive right now, and the penalties we are seeing are historic.
Which brings us to Section 2, valuing the digital economy.
So this regulatory aggression is colliding head-on with a massive shift in how businesses actually operate. We aren't just shipping physical widgets across borders anymore. The true value today is mostly invisible. We're talking algorithms, software, and vast pools of data. So the crucial thing to understand here is the foundational arm's length principle. This requires intercompany transactions to be priced exactly as if they were between independent, unrelated parties in a competitive market. But think about it. How do you find an independent market price for a proprietary AI algorithm or a totally unique global user database? Well, a lot of times, you just can't. There is zero comparable market data out there. This makes valuing digital assets incredibly complex and highly vulnerable to regulatory scrutiny.
Moving right along to Section 3, the 3 pillars of transfer pricing.
To understand how companies are even attempting to manage all this chaos, we can break this highly specialized, very consultant-heavy industry down into 3 main segments: strategic TP, operational TP, and TP compliance. Strategic TP sets the long-term group-wide policies and manages the effective tax rate. Then you have operational TP, which is the day-to-day implementation, making sure those intercompany prices actually reflect reality in real time. And finally, TP compliance. This is the heavy documentation required by regulators, things like master and local files. So ideally, your long-term strategy feeds right into your daily operations, which then dictates your regulatory compliance. It's like a giant interconnected puzzle. But here's the kicker. Right now, these 3 pillars are completely disjointed in most organizations. This legacy system is literally breaking under its own weight. Multinational enterprises are spending an average of $25.6 million every single year just on tax compliance. And to put that into perspective, those costs jumped 32% between 2017 and 2023 alone. Teams are completely bogged down by siloed data, the sheer misery of error-prone spreadsheets, and incredibly expensive Big Four consulting fees just to keep their heads above water.
Which leads us perfectly into our 4th section, AI's double-edged sword.
The technological catalyst completely upending this expensive manual industry is, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. And what's truly staggering to me is the massive jump in AI adoption by the tax authorities themselves. The growth is just unbelievable. In 2016, only 9% of OECD tax administrations were using AI tools. By 2024, that skyrocketed to 76%. This is creating an incredibly urgent, almost thrilling technological arms race. Regulators are already armed to the teeth with advanced algorithms.
We are quite literally looking at a 2-sided arms race here. On one side, you've got multinational enterprises deploying machine learning purely for survival. They're automating benchmarking, drafting local files in seconds, monitoring margins in real time. On the other side, you've got tax authorities utilizing predictive analytics to aggressively audit those exact same companies. For instance, Austria's tax authority actually used machine learning to flag a staggering 375,000 cases for review in a single year, bringing in an extra 185 million euros.
But hold on, because this tech arms race carries some severe risks. First up, you have black box algorithms with completely opaque logic. This means no one can explain exactly why the AI made a certain tax decision, and that is a huge problem. Second, there's the extreme risk of data and algorithmic bias. A really chilling example of this is the Dutch childcare benefit scandal, where a tax authority algorithm discriminated based on ethnicity, causing severe public harm. And finally, there are antitrust concerns. Think about it. If all the top advisors start using the exact same AI pricing tool, doesn't that inadvertently lead to market collusion?
This legal reality is captured perfectly by a ruling from the UK Aylesbury Tribunal, which flat out stated, opaque automated logic can undermine taxpayer confidence in fair treatment. The courts are already stepping in to drive home a very clear point. You simply cannot use a black box to justify multi-million-dollar tax decisions to a regulator. The logic has to be explainable. For sure.
So, how do we handle this? Let's get into Section 5, Navigating the AI Arms Race.
To successfully deploy AI in transfer pricing, you absolutely must follow strict governance best practices. Step 1. Maintain human oversight. Always keep a human in the loop to review and sign off on those final decisions. Step 2. Ensure transparency and explainability so you can actually defend your numbers when the audit inevitably comes. Step 3. Enforce strict data governance across the board. And finally, conduct regular audits and bias checks. Look, AI is amazing, but it must act as a powerful decision support tool, never an autonomous ruler.
And finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, the Future Transfer Pricing Professional. Listen, the days of manually copy-pasting numbers into Excel, those are over. Done. The new in-demand roles are tech economists and specialized data roles, like health economics analysts in the pharma sector. By learning coding and data science languages like Python, R, and SQL, professionals can finally escape those tedious back-office tasks. And because this type of analysis is output-based and relies on cloud data, it unlocks these highly flexible, remote-first, strategic roles. Your entire value is shifting away from data entry straight into data strategy. I absolutely love this insight from the PyPhi community, which really empowers us here. They advise, if you are creative and technical, expand your toolbox and build new solutions using Python. See, upskilling is the ultimate way to stay optimistic and competitive in this rapidly changing field. You aren't being replaced by automation. You are being elevated by it to do the high-level strategic thinking that actually drives margin growth. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. As AI completely rewrites the rules of global taxation, are you prepared to govern the algorithm, or will the algorithm govern you? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating, complex world of transfer pricing. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next one.